So we spoke about how AI is not going to replace you, but someone that knows how to operate AI will.
100%.
Now, are there any jobs that will never be replaced by AI, even if AI gets as sophisticated as it possibly can?
Yes.
We'll start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Elias,
Habibi,
how are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
It's been a while that I wanted someone to talk to me about AI from an insider point of view. So alhamdulillah, now we have you today to do this for us. And we basically can't wait for you to show us all of the great experience and insight that you have in this field. But first, let's start with my signature introduction, which is usually allowing the guests to introduce themselves. So I don't like to do introductions for anyone except in the beginning. But during the actual podcast, I'd like them to introduce themselves. So I'll give the ground to you. Who is Elias?
Thank you, Mohammed, first of all, to invite me. It's really a pleasure to be with you today.
Most welcome.
Very, very interesting topic for a technologist like me. It's like a pleasure for me to try to explain and to bring, I would say, my insights and the knowledge and expertise that I have in this topic. Who's Elias? So I'm originally from Tunisia, and I've lived in Canada for 23 years.
23 years in Canada.
Yes.
Nice.
I felt in love in Canada.
Nice.
So
But whereabouts in Canada?
in Montreal.
Ah, alors tu parles français.
Bien sûr. If you
Tu
want,
veux,
we
tu
can
peux
switch.
faire tu veux faire le podcast en français?
I want to reach to wider audience.
I mean, you have a large French-speaking community, but okay, we'll continue.
We're going to
in
use
English.
AI to do the translation. So, computer engineer as well as biomedical engineer. And I did also my master's degree in management for innovation, diffusion of innovation. So as you can imagine, I love technology, I love innovation. And then I worked for 17 years in very large companies in Montreal, Canada, and North America in IT digital in general. I love, as I've said, I love technology. I'm really passionate about how we can use it in an efficient way, how it can help the organization to achieve their goals, but also, I love also to explain it to people and try to help them to understand how they can leverage those kind of tools.
Yes, I mean, because technology, the issue about technology and the adoption of technology nowadays can sometimes be a little bit too complicated, specifically if you don't have the required skill set to implement it in the company. You need to, because for example, I give you my own personal example, my own personal experience with technology is that once you make the wrong decision, it affects the entire company on a very large scale. And if it's not the right software, or if it's not the right implementation, the cost of redoing and replacing is so high. For example, like choosing the wrong ERP system.
Oh my gosh.
For example, trust me, been there, done that. Make sure that you have a really, really good advisor on board when you want to implement any technology that has an effect on the whole ecosystem of the company.
And that's a very interesting point, Mohammed. لأنه a lot of people, they understand that technology is about choosing a tool. Yes, choosing the tool, it's a foundational decision, very critical. But to your point, to have the right people to help you implement it, deploy it, manage people that are going to use it.
Yes.
It's as critical as the technology itself.
Yes.
Talking about ERP, we can name all the big players. That they do pretty the same thing from technology perspective.
Yeah.
So to your point, but I think you picked a very important one where everybody struggled, even big companies. It's still today.
Yeah.
Just to give you an example, when I was studying, it was like in the university, deploying ERP, it was booming at the time, I would say, in the beginning of the 2000s. But again, till now, companies are still struggling. I'm pretty sure that the experience that you talked about,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're not talking on.
Well, it was my father's own company, and we
Yes.
implemented an ERP system. I wouldn't say it was the worst, but I wouldn't say it was the best either. But it's just the idea of just replacing it with another system was just, I would say, almost impossible and so expensive and very time consuming. So it's not something that you can, a switch, press a button and then خلاص, it's gone. You cannot do that. So, and I would, using that as an example, it applies to every single piece of technology that you want to implement at work that has involves other departments and involves the company as a whole. But before we get into the technical discussion, you actually became a Harvard Business Review advisor.
Actually, Harvard Business Review council member.
Council member. Okay, so
Yes.
that's, is that better or
No, it's a different
like
role.
more?
It's a different role. So, to be honest with you, I was honored when they contacted me because it's.
How did it happen? You need to tell me. How did this whole thing happen?
So it's upon invitation. It's like
Nice.
somebody from Harvard Business Review contacted me. I guess it's through the I would say exposure and all the posts and.
Where? Which post? On LinkedIn?
On LinkedIn, as well
The
as
power of LinkedIn. Never underestimate the power of LinkedIn. This guy right here
100%.
got on the council of Harvard Business Review because of that.
as well as the panels and be invited in the conferences and
Nice.
stuff like that. So it's a group of leaders that Harvard invite to participate on reviewing, giving them feedback on
Nice.
the articles and studies they are doing.
Nice.
It's very, I would say, I feel it as like an accomplishment, as you've mentioned.
It is an accomplishment. I mean, how many people can say that?
As well as it helped me also to be in contact with a very, I would say, crème de la crème, as we say in French,
Ouais.
in terms of people to meet, people to interact
Obviously,
with,
yes.
etc.
And that's, يعني it's an accomplishment first for you on a personal level, but it's also an accomplishment. It's also an accomplishment for an Arab, for us, for people, for like our culture, our background to be represented.
100%, yes.
Like on such a, I would say, it's a very high end
Thank you,
place to
Mohammed,
be.
indeed.
Yeah, but would you say that they targeted you based on a specific topic that you were really focused on, or was it just a very generic outlook on technology and adoption of it in the workplace?
What I've noticed, Mohammed, is they want to have diversity on the profiles that they are bringing. So on my side, I've worked in a very niche industries like engineering, constructions, healthcare, and I focused as well in terms of contribution to the community, either on LinkedIn or outside, on the digital impact or the impact of the digital innovation. So on my side, maybe a recommendation to people that are following us is really to ensure that when you are focusing on a specific niche that is your expertise, deliver like hell. Try to ensure that you are putting content that is insightful to people, that brings value. People gonna know you on, I would say, on LinkedIn or other I would say, social media, but also other people like Harvard Business Review. There's also Forrester that does also the same thing, and other big, I would say, companies as well as communities that are doing that like that. So a recommendation for all of us, it's really when you are passionate about what you're doing, it's keep going, try to really spread your knowledge and share it with people. I think it's very important.
I actually want to double down on what you're saying and add to it that sometimes, in my opinion at least, it takes only one post to really identify someone that's super experienced in a specific field. How? What do I mean by that? It just takes one post for you to understand that this guy knows this topic more than anyone else, because the type of insight that he would give you, the quality of the information in that one post will automatically tell you that this guy really knows his stuff.
Yes.
And this guy has been there, he's gone through things. For him to be able to make such an opinion means that he's been really involved in the business.
Mohammed, people feel it.
Yes.
They feel it when you read posts. Sometimes you feel the one, first of all, we are all capable to identify those written by AI versus those written by people.
Yeah.
Plus, you feel that there is these thoughts behind.
Yes.
Somebody is trying, I would say the one that is writing it, is trying to add value through that post.
Yes.
To expose an idea, ask a question, be a critical thinker, and put something new into that post,
Yeah.
and try to make people interact around that topic.
Yeah. I would also add one more thing, is that I would say any LinkedIn post has to be very value condensed. That means there has to be a lot of value in a finite amount of space.
Yes.
So that people feel obliged to share it, like it, save it, comment on it, etc. And this is actually a piece of advice that I got from one of the most popular LinkedIn influencers. I forgot his name, Matt Walsh or something. I forgot. It was someone very popular, and he said, always make sure that your LinkedIn post is super value condensed.
Yes.
So that people can get the maximum amount of value from that 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever they're going to spare to read your post.
Something very interesting happened to me in one of the last posts that I published on LinkedIn, Mohammed, where somebody commented my post, and his first sentence on his comment, it was, "I needed to take a break, Elias, before answering to your post, because you made me think about the topic that you that you."
There you go.
So to your point,
Yeah.
somebody read it and said, "Wait a minute." It's like there is a very deep insight coming out of that post.
Yes.
So to me, it made my day, to be honest with you.
Of course.
That
And
specific-
imagine that person is a person of influence.
Yes.
It's a chairman or a board member,
Yes.
or all it takes is that one post for him to really start keeping you on his radar.
100%.
You know, and this is sometimes something that people really underestimate, because the law of proximity, right?
Yes.
You always have to be within the proximity of the influential people, or the people of a high caliber, so that you can really work with them to get to the next phase, or to be able to establish or do things in your life that will improve either the workplace, or either improve your own business,
Yes.
or just being in the proximity of those people. Now, when it comes to you and working with all the different companies that you work with, you work with some of the top names,
And yes,
many of them Canadian, very known Canadian companies. You had Canadian National, WSP, SNC Lavalin, all these.
National Bank of Canada.
National Bank of Canada. So you've all around Canadian guy. But what is it about IT, and specifically in the engineering and, let's say, construction firms, that is always so big and so important? I feel like those industries are very much focused on IT. Obviously, in addition to other sectors, but I feel like engineering and the construction companies really double down on IT.
So very honestly, Mohammed, I think I was blessed to have that opportunity to work in such big companies. Why? Because those big companies, they really believe that technology and digital capabilities is a critical and strategic asset for them.
Okay.
Where it means that on the board or even on the leadership level, they are putting the right, I would say, investments,
Okay.
because it's important.
Yes. I mean, it requires a whole budget on its own.
100%.
Because you need the people, the team, the tools.
Exactly, and then they build all what is around it to make it happen. To your people, to your point, they're going to bring the right people to be able to deliver. They're going to put the right governance and processes to be successful to build all that. And ultimately, yes, it will. The outcome is building a new digital capability or deploying the specific tool. So, in all those big companies that I've worked with, technology is seen as I've said, strategic asset, but also we worked hand in hand with the business side to be able to deliver actual value to them. Bottom line, IT in the majority of, if you're not working for Microsoft, Google, or those giant tech, we need to understand that IT is seen as a cost center. They are spending money. But in those big companies, in my opinion, they were successful because they did that shift toward considering digital and IT as an enabler for their revenue.
Yes. Yes.
So you're going to sit down with the head of, I would say, the project management from a construction perspective, and you work hands in hands with them to either, bottom line, you are there to help them either to solve the problem,
Yes.
or they see an opportunity and they ask you to find a way to help them to benefit from that opportunity.
Yes.
So that collaboration to me is very important. It was one of the critical criteria that allowed those big companies that I was very lucky to work on to be successful into enabling the technology as a true asset for them.
I'm going to ask you a question that you may or may not have an answer to, but I'm going to ask you, name me the best or the number one company in the world or from the ones that you've dealt with that has been the leader and the best in implementation of technology in the workplace to improve their processes and operations.
You want to put me on trouble, isn't
It's okay. It's my podcast, so I get to sometimes to ask questions like this because I like to get an honest answer.
To be honest with you, my experience with WSP, it was amazing because we were able to build really very innovative solutions from to
Custom made? 50-50?
50-50, because as you know, it's either you can buy it or you can make it, right?
Yes.
Or you can shape it.
Yes.
Which means you take the foundation.
A bespoke solution.
Exactly. Those that are the most, I would say, successful were the ones that were able, again, kind of go back to my initial point, to align with the business needs. If for a non-critical and non-strategic process, why would you don't have any, I would say, incentive to do it by yourself. You can take a tool out of the shelf and benefit from the best practice. It's not your core business. So even your internal processes, Mohammed, they are not potentially optimal.
Yes.
So example, usually we talk about the what we call the supporting teams, let's say HR, legal, marketing, etc. Elair or WSP or even Canadian National. It's not their core business, right, to do HR, legal. It's to support the business. So guess what? They take something out of the shelf, fine-tune it a little bit, and use it.
Yeah.
Versus in some critical area where it's their core business, they have their own secret sauce on how to make money. Guess what? They're going to build it their own. And I've seen in Canadian National,
they built their own.
It was a long time ago. It was on the mid 90s. They built their own solution.
But back then also the access to technology was not as easy.
You're right, but the story could definitely be, I would say, repeat itself. The history in terms of, at the time what they did, they built something from scratch and they start to sell it to other railroads.
Oh, okay. So they must have also built it in such a way where it made it very scalable.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. So they had again, it goes back to choosing the best team
Yes.
and the right team for the right job.
Yes.
Because I'll give you an example. A friend of mine has built the number one rental platform here in Dubai. YouRent, if you know it, yourent.com. So it's like the Airbnb for cars, basically.
Okay.
So you put your own car on the platform, and then you rent it out, just the same way as the Airbnb business model works. Now, the interesting thing is that after some time, he caught the attention of one of the biggest car rental companies in the world.
Really?
Yes. I'm not going to name names, but they reached out to him and they're like, how about you change our rental platform? And he's like, but you're like one of the biggest companies in the world. They're like, yeah, but you know, like our platform is a piece of shit, you know.
Yes.
We need someone to change it
Yes.
because it's not scalable.
Yes.
It was coded very badly.
Yes.
And it just has a lot of issues. So the cost of repairing it
Yes.
is so much higher than starting it from scratch. So you might as well start it from scratch.
I call that the rabbit hole, I would say, syndrome.
The rabbit hole syndrome.
Because
Okay.
they're stuck and they try to improve their own stuff. They make even more complex, more customizable, customized to their own need, and then they're stuck. It's not optimal, it's not scalable.
Yes.
And so to your point, sometimes, but you know what? It takes a lot of courage from
Yes.
the exec to make that decision, to say, you know what, enough is enough. We are ready to make that strategic decision and change it.
Well, the numbers don't lie, right? At the end of the day, the numbers don't lie, because at the end of the day, the numbers are going to be what end up giving you enough indication to make that hard decision.
Yes.
If the numbers tell you that there is no way that we can continue with this, there's these issues in the software, then obviously it makes sense to change it. And then whatever, you just have to you just have to basically swallow your pride and move on.
And Mohammed, the same very difficult decision could also happen in the project mode.
Yeah.
Where they're stuck in a project and nobody has the courage to stop it or
Yes.
to shift 180 degrees.
Yes.
And just to name it, in Canadian National, we had one of our biggest project. It was $1 billion that we spent. Actually, the budget, it was more than $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
But previously, we were struggling into delivering it. And we had one very courageous leader with a lot of experience.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Paul. I don't know, maybe Paul. Hi, Paul. He's one of the brightest leaders that I've never met. He was able to understand, quantify, demonstrate.
Quantify, keyword.
And demonstrate that the statu quo is not an option. They cannot continue to do the same way.
Yes.
And then presented to the board a very ambitious plan.
Yes.
And he was able to put the things on track again.
Yeah, exactly. So this is why you really need to have a really good team handling IT and handling the technology department, or let's say the technology policy and governance, and especially when the corporation becomes very big. But to get back to the AI side of technology, and talking about AI in the workplace. For those that are new to the topic, I'm sure there's no one new to the topic unless they're living under a rock. But for those that are new in the topic, how would you define AI in the context of workplace innovation?
So if I may, Mohammed, just before I would say focus on the workspace side.
Yeah.
You've mentioned it a couple of seconds ago about AI and how it's impacting all of us.
Yes.
So there is people that they compare the AI, this AI era that we are living to the arrival of internet into the, I would say, into the economy.
I'm sure 50 years from now, people are going to be laughing at us because we're
Yes.
talking about,
And
about AI.
and there's others that are comparing it even to the invention of the electricity, which is even more significant and important.
But you think that much?
I think it's even more. And let me
Damn.
tell you
That's
why.
a big statement.
Let me tell you why.
Okay, I'm curious. There you go.
Because the foundation of AI is about mathematics. It's about
Okay.
it's about predicting what are the using maths, using statistics into a predictive way to suggest, I would say, outcomes. If I ask you, do you know an area where mathematics, you cannot apply mathematics? Think about any industry. Think about anything you do. It's all over the place. Everything.
Yeah, I mean, unless it's like art or things that are completely not science related,
Yes.
it's impossible not to have math integrated in your business.
So that's why when we
Even
say,
medicine has
yes.
math integrated.
So that's why when we say AI is everywhere, to me it's so true, because you can apply it. There is maths behind everything, so it means that AI can support in any single thing that mathematics applies to.
But I'll comment on something. I'll agree with you, but would you agree with me that AI is also as good as the information that it's fed? That means garbage in, garbage out, one. Two, if you feed it specific kind of information, it's going to have a specific bias based on whatever information you're feeding it.
100%. All what you just described about the quality of data, about the bias of the models, etc., all those things are constraints slash, I wouldn't even call them limitation, but more constraints that will needs to be taken into consideration in order to have the right outcome. It's like the machine is the same, but how you apply it and how you're going to feed it, it makes all the difference. Now, if I go back to your initial question about AI in the workplace.
Yes.
Workplace basically, in a nutshell, is any virtual or physical tasks that an employee does within its organization.
Correct.
Okay? So as you can imagine, any one of us is impacted by how AI gonna improve or gonna change the workplace.
Yes.
It's either on how we do our job, on how to accelerate it, how to help us to be more efficient, how to help us to do less errors. A lot of use cases to that. So to me, applying AI to workplace, it's an endless way of helping us as individuals to be more efficient of what we're doing. Now, it comes with, as anything, there's benefits, but there is also the flip side of the coin where people need to change. People needs to develop a new muscle to properly use that technology.
Yeah.
So to me, using AI on the workplace, and we can discuss it with more details on specific area, but you can think about it on be more efficient on doing your own job, using automation, helping you to do some less interesting and repetitive tasks to automate them and be more efficient. In my opinion, what is even more interesting, it's when it brings bright people and make them collaborate together. Because AI, it's a wonderful way to make people collaborate together.
But I have something to say here. What do you say about people that tell you that this tool is making a specific segment of people more lazy, less productive in terms of actual production themselves, and reliant more on technology rather than using their own brains, rather than using their own creativity to come up with solutions, and just using AI as a tool to accelerate? Because some people will definitely, or a very large portion of people, will just use AI from A to Z without having to do anything themselves.
Okay, I'll take the example, for instance, of Microsoft.
Yeah.
They named their tool Copilot. They didn't name it Autopilot. Because in terms of automation, it can does a lot of things very autonomously from A
Yes.
to Z.
Yes.
But to your point,
Like Excel, also, like if you put all the macros inside
Yes.
an Excel, it could do everything from A to Z.
from A to Z, exactly. But again, to your point, the raison d'être of using such technology, it's to remove those repetitive and low-value tasks.
Donkey
and,
work, basically.
Exactly, and allow people
To focus more on.
to focus on more value-added things.
Yes.
Imagine, okay, right?
The 80-20 rule.
Yes, exactly. Plus, let's take specific example, maybe for even people to better understand Mohammed. Think about the autocorrect thing, okay?
Yes.
When you're going to use a more sophisticated tool to write your email based
Yes.
on prompt, leveraging millions of examples. So the first attempt that the AI going to bring to you, the first result that the AI going to bring to you, it's not the final result. It's an initial draft with, in theory, no spelling mistakes,
Yeah.
a clear structure. Then you're going to fine-tune it to, let's say you want to send it to your boss or you want to send it to a specific client, etc. You're going to put that intelligence,
Yes.
the human intelligence, on top of it. So we're going to put the HI on top of the AI to bring the real intelligence with a big I.
So I love your answer. Actually, I think this is one of the best answers I've heard since we've been talking about this topic for the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 years almost, is that AI is, I'm going to summarize your answer or try to say it in a way that will stick.
Yeah.
That AI is going to allow or enable human beings to focus and prioritize their energy, time, and creativity on the portion of work that matters and that has an impact, and reduce their time and energy and effort from the repetitive, let's say non-creative, non-significant portion of the work that can just be done by the machine itself.
100%. And
It's a good answer.
And please never forget also to ensure that each one of us, we must put that HI layer on top of it.
To your point, I did a podcast with a guy called Rodolphe Khlat, the co-founder of Smarter Code. It's an AI-powered software engineering app/platform. What he did is that he taught the machine everything he knows about coding, about programming. And then, obviously, I knew what he was going at with his conversations, but I wanted to just, for the audience to understand. So I asked him, like, but why didn't do the programming yourself? He's like, why should I waste my time for hours writing codes that are just standard codes that are not required? And he's like, when I use AI, the quality is so much better because I can prompt the machine to detect if I have an error in a specific line of code that could change everything. And then in the way that I'm doing it, when I'm making my machine learn how I code, I am reducing the time, improving the quality, focusing on what matters, and being a lot more efficient and a lot faster. So that was his answer, and I can see the parallel in what you're saying.
And maybe if I can add one more thing, Mohammed. Do you know how much words we need to know in order to master a language?
No, how many?
Guess. Okay, I'll give you
It's a very hard guess.
Around 30,000 words.
So you need 30,000 words to master a
Yeah,
language.
more or less. Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Do you know how many parameters or data ChatGPT was trained on?
I love these questions, but I have no
200
idea about the answer.
200 billion parameters.
Oh my God.
So what I'm saying is, it's we reach a stage where AI it became efficient and knows a lot of things, which is, by the way, our knowledge. By the way, it's very important.
Yes,
it's a
of
human
course.
knowledge that we used, or we used to train the AI models. So it's our nowadays we reach that stage where we
Yeah.
can use that knowledge in order to do, to your point, to do those basic things, the repetitive things.
Yes.
And us, we're going to continue to learn and continue to leverage that. You've mentioned it. More and more, we're seeing more and more softwares or platforms, all of them now that are dash AI powered.
Yes.
Because they are leveraging that
Yes.
technology.
Obviously. Now, when it comes to myths and misconceptions about AI, what do you think are the biggest myths or misconceptions that you've encountered about AI in the workplace?
So, first of all, many people think that AI will take our jobs and going to replace our workforce.
No, it will not.
Yes.
Someone that knows how to use AI very well will replace your job.
100%. 100%.
Or replace you in your job. Sorry. Yeah. So it's the person that knows how to utilize AI.
It's unfortunately a misconception of what AI can do and how we need to leverage AI.
Yeah.
Okay. The second one is, it's just for techie guys, which is literally the other way around.
Yeah.
It's 99% of the use cases that organizations and people can benefit from. It's for their job, for the business.
Yes.
To leverage and to, as we've said, either solve a problem or they do have an opportunity, and now they do have a tool to reach down. And the one that I like the most. It's just a trend.
Obviously,
I love that one, by the way. And quite often I'm seeing people that really believes, and I think they hope. It's like maybe they are, and they're stuck in those their day-to-day job and their repetitive task, and they hope it's just a
trend.
It's just a trend.
But that's definitely not the case, and we know that very well. But based on what you're saying, what do you think has been the best sector in adopting AI very quick?
So from a sector perspective, let's say if we talk about industries, for instance.
Yeah.
Definitely all the stats going to show, for instance, the financial sector is
the best.
Why? Because banks, financial sectors,
very number-based.
Data-driven. So everything is already set. Plus, we know they put a lot of governance around their data, so their data is more or less cleaner than the rest.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say they are perfect,
yes.
but they are cleaner. So it explains a little bit why they were able to better adopt. Healthcare as well.
Yes.
Not necessarily from a generative AI per se, but from an AI, because I'll give you an example. My master's degree that I did 20 years ago, it was about...
you did your master's degree 20 years ago?
Yes.
How old are you?
45.
You definitely don't look 45. I was like, man, you made me sound so old. He's like, the master's degree that I did 20 years ago. Like, what the hell is this guy talking? Now I just felt like a grandfather in the shoe.
No.
Master's
degree.
Okay,
I'm going to change. Okay, the master's degree that I did 10 years ago. Is it better? No, but seriously, it was about detections of medical instruments.
Yeah.
In videos.
Yeah.
That's what we call today computer vision, which is AI. So again, healthcare is also using a lot of AI as well as Gen AI these days in order to really leverage that wonderful technology.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, construction is a little bit behind, to be honest with you. If you look
Yeah.
at the spectrum, constructions is more on the
I'll tell you why
lagging.
I think construction is like that and I speak from someone that's been in this field for a long time, is that because we don't have a set of standard that is unified amongst construction companies or in the industry, in the sense that every company does things in their own way. And unlike, for example, banks or unlike financial institutions, there is a standard that most people follow
Comply.
up to 99% because there's a lot of compliance and regulations that's required, and that's very consistent amongst all of the institutions because for many reasons, auditing purposes, etc., etc. So they run on a very tight line, right? But construction companies is a lot like, I don't know, it's like a fish market. No, we'll do it this way. خليه. No, it's okay. No, we'll bypass this. No, we'll bypass that. It's a lot of cutting corners, doing things in a different way. I mean, it's very hard to get them all under one, let's say, system or one language.
Yes.
You cannot. It's very hard.
Plus, Mohammed, extremely important, and maybe I think I repeated that message at least 2 or 3 times already. What drives value? It's your understanding and how you leverage the technology to support your business.
Yes.
So, understanding the business is important, and understanding the business model is important.
Yes.
In construction, yes, there is the big players. Maybe they do have the technologies, and they do have potential revenue and budget to do the right investments. But in that industry, you rely a lot on third parties and contractors.
Yes.
Which are way much smaller. Sometimes you'll find I would say a third party that is just a small business run by the father and his sons.
Yes.
So they don't have the technical savviness, neither the investments to do it. So, and they play a crucial role in the business model.
But I have a question for you when it comes to that. Is AI or any of these types of tools, are they feasible for small companies at the moment? At the moment, as of now? Or it has to reach a specific size for it to become feasible?
Very tricky question. And let me tell you why.
I like tricky questions.
Thank you. You like putting your guests in trouble, isn't it?
I like to make them think. That's a better way of putting it.
So there is a smaller business, they do have an advantage if you compare it to the bigger business in terms of size, agility, and flexibility.
Yes.
Nowadays, AI is getting more and more easy to implement. Let's give you a specific example. To build a chatbot, for instance.
Right.
A year ago or a year and a half ago, you need to have, there's a handful of companies that they were able to build it, and it requires a couple of months to build it.
Okay.
Today, with the tools that exist today, you can build a chatbot in 15 minutes.
Oh my God. It's just 1 year and a half.
Yes.
So 16,
Yes.
18 months.
So AI, in some area, it becomes just a commodity. So for those ones, they can easily leverage that. They have, between brackets, less bureaucracy,
Yes.
etc. So, in my opinion, they need to leverage that. Plus, and that's more, I'm going to put because I love strategy and business strategy, etc. I also feel that in terms of business model, we're going to shift toward model like ERP, the example that you've mentioned earlier, and with what happened, for instance, with Walmart, where Walmart, they put an ERP in place, and it forces all his partners to work with the same tools or same kind of tools. It requires a perfect alignment from a technology perspective.
But that's only possible with company the size of Walmart, because
Yes.
it's impossible to force that change and decision unless you have that much leverage. Yes. Like Walmart does.
But Mohammed, do you see any kind of analogy, for instance, between big constructions players with their I would say, ecosystem, where potentially if there is some significant investments for them to become, to have a strategic advantage, then they're going to say, you know what, if you want to deal with us, you need to do A, B, C from a technology perspective.
I will answer the question in a very different way, but in a much more, let's say, value-driven method. In the sense that if I was a CEO of a very large construction company, first my strategy would be to focus on the change from within. What does that mean? That means that if I had to implement technology that improves my business, and let's say you were the head of the technology department and you recommended after months of research that this is what we should implement, this is the strategy, these are the advantages, these are disadvantages, we'll go with this choice. And if I see, and obviously based on your recommendation, that the value is there, I would force this decision onto everyone in the company, so that everyone within the ecosystem of the company has to deal with this technology because of the value that it adds to the business over the lifespan of this implementation. Which means that everyone within this ecosystem will be forced in one way or another to use it and to start thinking in a very structured way that is in parallel with this technology, so that next time when they want to do their task or when they want to execute their work or when they want to execute their project, they keep in mind that they have to go back to the office and they have to comply with X, Y, Z as per the requirement of the system. So that's how I would answer your questions, that I would focus first on my own ecosystem, and then that would cascade down to my supply chain, my suppliers, subcontractors, etc. And yes, I would ask them to deal or to comply with my own technology, but I will make it simple for them. I would make the barrier to entry very low so that they are encouraged to use it.
100%. And even if you look at it, even from those, I would say, companies that will support you in your, I would say, in your supply chain example process, it will be more attractive for them to know that the barrier to align with you is low.
Yes.
But they do have an interest to do it in order to get more business with you.
Yes.
So it will encourage them to do that effort.
Yes.
And to, with their size, which is smaller, they do have more agility with more and more tools and technology that even, I wouldn't say plug and play, but more and more easier to implement. In my opinion, we're going to see more and more, I would say, smaller company embracing the AI technology.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time before it cascades down to the small companies. It's like when AutoCAD came out, right? Everyone was like, oh my God, there's this software. Because, remember, they had these big blueprint drawings, and they had all these draftsmen doing it, and it was just a nightmare back in the day. But when AutoCAD came out, it was a life-changing software. And now we have BIM, which is making it even more, let's say, innovative.
Yes.
Obviously, BIM has been around for many years, but now it's becoming, let's say, more accessible and more being more adopted in construction companies, in projects. Sorry.
It's more and more sophisticated. So it's adding more features, providing more tools to be more efficient.
I actually just posted on LinkedIn. I connected BIM with finance and cash flows, and you're going to be like, how are those even related to each other? It's because BIM models have become so sophisticated to the point that now you can also have them predict specific scenarios based on the input that you give them. For example, if you have a project with bad cash flow, and bad payments, you can easily let the BIM model predict how that project is going to perform in months from now based on this bad cash flow.
Yes.
Whatever the reasons for that bad cash flow are, because the reasons could be many. But it just goes to show you that now you have almost a digital twin
Yes.
that can show the client or the stakeholders, look, this is what's going to happen to your project if you keep doing the bullshit that you're doing.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So, excuse my French, but whatever. It's okay. We can use these words on my podcast. No, but really, that's, I'm a big supporter of technology in companies and organizations, and I believe it makes things very transparent and very collaborative. But I want to ask you something, because I love numbers. How much money were you able to save with some of the best technology adoptions that you made so far in your career in any of the organizations that you made?
So, in terms of numbers,
Yes.
very honestly, Mohammed, what is more important than numbers is the structure that you put around your project delivery in order to measure those numbers.
So what are the metrics then?
So,
How do you measure this success? What are the KPIs?
so let's say, so for instance, you have an idea that will leverage specific technology or specific digital capabilities, even AI, okay? Before even starting your project, you need to understand and to evaluate your ROI, right? Your
Okay.
return on investment.
Yes.
Your return on investment, at the end of the day, it will be based on the cash or either the cost that you're going to reduce or the revenue that you're going to generate.
Yes.
What I'm saying here is even prior to start your project, think about those metrics. And it will depend on the project that you're going to deliver. I'll take a specific example. Let's think about in my opinion, one of the best use case for AI in general is the reduction of maintenance costs, what we call the predictive maintenance.
Okay.
Okay, it's how much it's gonna cost me in order to do the maintenance.
You're talking about facility management, right?
Could be a facility, could be
Okay.
on transportation, could be
Okay.
of any kind of asset that requires
Okay.
maintenance.
Maintenance. Okay.
So you need to think about how much it was costing you before in terms of, I would say, in terms of resources that you were using, either labor or I would say the parts. You need to think about the time that you are, the money that you're losing while you are doing those maintenance. So those are kind of numbers that you need to measure them before doing your improvement and leveraging the technology and after.
Right.
So in a nutshell, usually we're talking about 10 to 20% of, in terms of maintenance, 10 to 20% of savings.
Right.
One other example, if you want to talk, for instance, about the specific example on construction.
Yes.
Vinci, they implemented a tool.
For those that don't know, Vinci is one of the largest French construction companies in the world, if not in the top 10, I think.
Yes, more than 220,000 employees around the globe or something.
Wow.
Yeah,
I know they're one of the largest in the world, but I did not know that they employ over 200,000 people.
Yeah. So
My God. They say it's a government. It's almost a government.
Yeah,
Vinci.
so they implemented an AI tool on doing one of the most annoying part of the construction job, which is documentation and managing documentation.
Okay.
So they implemented an AI
tool.
tool.
Tell me more.
They implemented an AI tool in order to help them classify the documentation automatically. You accelerating the research, helping people while they are creating the documentation. I know it exists, but it was integrated into the all suite about collaborating while they are doing where they are actually creating and updating the document, as well as streaming and putting a lot of automation on the reviews as well as the approvals.
But you know why I know what are the reasons why they probably did this?
Why?
Is because obviously it's first of all it's a thing that you have to do. It's part of the work.
Yes.
But it's because of also exposure and legal risks and
Yes.
managing legal
Yes.
risks, because documentation is everything that protects your company, specifically in construction.
Yes.
Letters, documentation, submittals
Yes.
are the most important parts of the project, because they are the ones that either expose you in the court or they protect you in the court.
Yes. Yes.
So for them, because they work on such large scale projects, so the exposure is super high,
Yes.
and many companies went bankrupt because of legal cases that went south.
So,
I.e., you've got, trying to remember, contract, the ones that were working in Qatar and they did the hospital there, they went bankrupt in that particular country. You've got big names. There was that Greek Cypriot company also that went bankrupt in Qatar, and then also in the Gulf. They also had other branches because of bad legal cases, and because they just did not have the right documentation, the right paperwork to protect them when they went to court.
100%. And imagine sometimes you went to the extreme case, let's say, where you're in trouble and you need to have a legal.
We will always assume the worst case in construction. You always assume the worst case.
But imagine, I'm pretty sure you've seen that kind of scenario before, Mohammed, where somebody started to use either a standard or a documentation which was not up to date, worked a couple of weeks,
Yes.
and then realized, or somebody that
Yes.
is aware that there is a new updated
Yes.
version of that document,
Yes.
telling
Yes.
him, oh, by the way, the specs are totally wrong because you used the wrong documentation.
Yes.
So it's a rework that you're going to avoid. So they saved millions. They made the process 30% more efficient in terms of
Yes.
in terms of documentation management.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. I mean, if you're a company as big as Vinci, or if you're any big construction company, or any big corporation of whatever domain you're in, and you're not investing in your technology department, and you're not making it one of your top departments and maybe one of the most important budgets, you're doing something wrong, because everything now is very much technology based, and it should be streamlined so that you can execute your work seamlessly without mistakes and with minimal human error.
Yes, and it's even in terms of numbers, you can't imagine how bigger and bigger the IT budget is.
Yes, I can only imagine, for sure.
In many organizations, in many organizations, quite often is the second largest budget after labor.
But I also tell you why. Because it's also replacing a lot of humans.
Yes.
So, in other words, it's taking away from the
From one pocket
from one budget and putting it into another
Yeah.
budget. So, what would have taken 1,000 people to do now is you just need 500 people. So the 500 people are replaced by technology.
To your point, the job needs to be done. It's either done by
There you go.
labor or by the technology.
So again, I tell you, it's not AI that's going to take your job. It's someone that really knows how to make use of AI that will take your job.
100%.
But that being said, which company do you think has, overall in all domains, has the best implementation of AI? We asked that question in a different way. I'm saying from your experience, but I'm saying in general, across all domains, who do you think has the best implementation of AI as an organization?
Last week, I attended to Dell Forum here in Dubai.
Okay.
They mentioned that, Dell is one of the tech giants, right? Everybody is using Dell. I think they mentioned a very interesting number. They've said that out of their roughly 8,000 clients, 80% of them already started their AI journey. Okay. And those 80% are on the stage 1 or stage 2, which is either exploring or starting some
implementation,
early adoption.
Okay.
Okay. why I'm starting with that, because it's too early to say who is the best in implementing AI.
Okay.
The cycle, it's too, we're not there yet. You need to implement it. You need to start to use it. Then you're going to realize your ROI, and then you will be able to assess if it helped or it didn't.
Okay.
And in my opinion, it's not about who did it the best, but who started his journey the right way.
Right.
First of all, you should not try to do it only by yourself,
Yeah.
because you could benefit from people that did it before to help you to not do the same
mistakes.
mistakes.
Yeah. You
They're
make use of their learning curve.
They're gonna speed up your adoption. The second most important thing is to have that holistic approach, which is people, process, and technology, which is AI. So from a people perspective, you need to educate your top management.
Yeah.
And I've seen very successful organizations where they did a kind of AI 101 for their board and their executives.
Yeah.
They help them understand what's AI, what's the trends of AI, and how it's going to impact their business.
Yeah.
For them, because even the leaders, they need to be able to strategize leveraging AI.
Right.
And they also took the time to properly do the right awareness on their, I would say, for their employees. Reassure them, make them more engaged to try, because that's very important, Mohammed. I've seen a lot of clients, organization, buying the licenses, deploying the technology, and nobody's using it. Some of them, they are afraid of it. Some of them, they don't even know.
Yeah.
So it's, in my opinion, money thrown out of the window.
Yeah.
So we need also to properly engage them and have the right adoption strategy, or what we call change management in place.
Yes.
Your processes need to be properly in place in your governance. At the beginning of our discussion, we discussed about the data, garbage in, garbage out.
Yes.
If your data is not ready, and by the way, there's a lot of focus these days about what we call the AI readiness.
Yeah.
It's to help the organization to assess how ready are they in order to start properly
because it's a whole process. It's not just you wake up one day and you decide, okay, I'm going to implement AI. There has to be a very detailed strategy and a very detailed process and plan on how you will do it. And obviously, it's a process. Like, it has to be done over a specific period of time. It cannot be
100%
an abrupt change. Going back to our discussion and really trying to explain AI in terms that is relatable to the general audience. Can you give us real-life examples on how you used AI in the companies that you were working with? Let's limit it to 2 or 3 options where it was really having an impact or maybe used on a day-to-day basis in terms of operations and the business.
Okay. So there's 2 quite recent use case that we implemented.
Nice.
That, in my opinion, could be could help people to better understand what type of added value AI tool can help.
Can you disclose which company, or is that confidential?
Let's keep that.
Let's keep it undisclosed. Yes. Okay.
So first of all, it's about computer vision and analyzing invoices that we were receiving. So the company was struggled a little bit in treating all the invoices coming to our company. We took some delays. It was summertime, so a lot of people were on vacation. So we said, you know what? It's that easy to implement such automation, where the AI tool, leveraging Microsoft app, was able to read the invoices and right away classify to which team it needs to go, and right away do some automation in terms of sending the emails, ensuring that the receiver would know in a very efficient way that he got an invoice to review and then to approve.
So it would be an automated message based on.
It will. So we're gonna receive the invoice from our
X company.
company. So it's gonna analyze the format. It would know which type of goods or services we're buying, and then route it directly to this one. It's going to Elias, and the other one it's going to Mohammed.
But it has to be inputted in a specific format.
We trained the model.
Oh,
to be
nice.
able to do that.
Okay.
So we were able to, in summertime, where people were, I would say, between bracket, understaffed, people are going on vacation, etc., to not slow down the process.
Nice.
So that's one of the concrete example of what we call the computer vision, where the AI could read the format of the paper and make some decisions. The other one, it's about legal contract review.
Nice.
In our company, we're receiving a lot of contracts to review. And the objective...
I can see where this is going.
So the objective is not to replace the lawyers, but it's to do that initial validation.
The paralegal stuff.
Yes. So example, let's say if it's missing a section that it's mandatory in our company.
Nice.
So right away, instead of paying, I would say, a couple of $1,000s a lawyer to do that very, to your point, paralegal stuff, right away to do that initial screening. And it can analyze thousands of contracts in a very short time. Let's say in terms of seconds, minutes. Talking about. So those to me were two examples. And by the way, we bought it. The tool was there, so we didn't even develop it. So we bought the tool and we twisted to our needs. So that's what we call the shaping part. We twisted to align it to our needs and to our type of contract. So example, this and this and this sections are mandatory for us. So you do that kind of configuration, and right away, it can help.
This is amazing. So basically, because it's right. Because if you think about it, contracts are all based on specific clauses and specific structures. So if the paper or if the legal documentation doesn't fall within this specific structure, that means it's non-compliant or it's not...
Exactly, right away. So then, and I'll be very transparent with you, even the tool, when we bought it, they've told us they are working in more sophisticated analysis, etc., maybe more on the legal part. But at this stage, we wanted just to implement that first phase, which is more the paralegal, about formatting, about mandatory sections in our company.
Have you ever been able to use or apply AI in the workplace to measure the efficiency or, let's say, the performance of employees at the company?
So I would say it's more difficult, at least in Canada, to do that.
Why?
Due to privacy reasons. We want to ensure that individual rights are I would say on the top list of the constraints that we need to deal with. So it was not something that we were able to do. But
you know what's so funny? I'll tell you another story after you continue.
But let me tell you concrete examples that I've seen. For instance, people leveraging AIs in order to help them evaluate, for instance, some employees. So I was discussing. It was an example that one of people that I've met explained to me, and I found it very interesting. He told me that they do have to deliver a specific project, and they build a specific a channel of communication where everybody collaborate together to be able to deliver a specific project. Let's name it. It was leveraging Teams channel on Microsoft. So, and he the manager heard that one of the teams was doing kind of resistance. Let's say pushing back, not collaborative enough, etc. So he used the technology in order to be able to get some evidence as well as insights on the topics that team was pushing back. So because all the information is there, it's just about how you're gonna. So the tools he was able to find out leveraging Microsoft Copilot, telling them that specific team, it has the capability to analyze all the messages that are going back and forth.
But is he allowed to do that on the messages even related to work?
It's allowed when it's done aligned with the ethical, I would say, constraints.
Okay.
He's done it in a way to understand, for instance, that those teams, they are always complaining because they are receiving the request extremely late in a very short time. So he was able to understand that it was their pain point. They were complaining because they are always receiving the, I would say, the request last time.
Yeah, understand.
I would say last minute, sorry. And therefore, he was able to optimize his process and the coordination between the teams, telling them, guys, allow them 2 days of lead time for them to understand your request and get back. So again, the tool is there. It's just about how we leverage it, the type of use case we use it in order to benefit from them. To your point, can you ask them more, I would say, unethical question? Probably yes. But again, there is always those kind of regulation that they're going to slowly but surely be built around the AI and the usage of AI.
Interesting. That's crazy, wallah, when you think about it. Yani it can, AI is really it just gives you, based on your intention, if you want to use it for something good, you can. If you want to use it for something
100%.
bad, you also can.
Can I share a personal example that I used AI to help me to, from a workplace perspective, to be more productive?
Sure.
When I was looking to my email box, I was seeing the number of emails that I'm just CC'd and I cannot read. It's like going to the roof. It's like just keep growing and growing and growing. And there is someone that told me, Elias, have you tried to ask Copilot on those kind of things?
Copilot.
Yeah, Copilot, which is the AI on top of the Microsoft M365, so on top of Teams, on top of Outlook, etc. And I've told him, what am I going to ask? He said, Elias, it can do magic. I said, give me some example. I like magic. so
I'm a magician. I like.
Yeah. So he told me, Elias, you can ask him, for instance, at the end of the day, or at the beginning of the day, or at the end of let's say Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
Did I miss an important email about this and that topic? Or you can even state high level. What are the most important message that I didn't read? And that requires an action from my side. The tools are able to identify those.
Wow.
So I introduce it very honestly into my routine, as I call it the Friday afternoon routine, because I cannot do it on a daily basis.
Why not?
But it's just about, that's how I do it. That's how I did it.
No, the reason why I ask is because, for example, for us in construction, we get emails on a daily basis.
Yes.
And there's some of them are really important, some of them are garbage.
Yes.
They just CC'd for no reason. So that's why I asked, because it has to be on a daily basis, because in construction you cannot even wait a day if something is really important.
The following day you're going to get a call.
Obviously. You're going to get a call and then the contractor is crying and every day's delay is a lot of penalties.
But Mohammed, you got the point. You can leverage the tool to help you.
You could do it every hour if you want.
Prioritize. It can even draft a response to you.
Nice.
How many times, especially, I was leading a big team in IT perspective. So sometimes when an email get to me, the story started 3 months ago.
Wow.
between two teams, wherever it got escalated to a first level, then second level, then it comes to me. And there's that magical button on the top. It's like summarize. So it tells you the story.
Wow.
And again, at the beginning, I'll be very honest
I
with you.
should really use, actually, I'm really going to benefit a lot out of this podcast. I learned so much, but I'm going to definitely try Copilot. Because for me, I did automation only.
Yes.
So basically putting them in a specific folder and stuff, but I never actually thought about using Copilot.
No, but man, it can, to me, for those that tried it and start how to know how to masters how to use
Yeah.
it, you cannot leave after.
Okay, let me ask you $1 million question. Can it go through the attachments and summarize the attachments for me?
I think it can.
I'm going to chase you tomorrow morning about this.
You can.
I'm going to chase you.
You can try it. You can try it, but man, it can does magic.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. Because some of the attachments are impossible to read in Cascade because there's just so many pages.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe sometimes you just need the summary. So that's why. All right. So we spoke about how AI is not going to replace you, but someone that knows how to operate AI will.
100%.
Now, are there any jobs that will never be replaced by AI, even if AI gets as sophisticated as it possibly can?
Yes.
What are they?
Mainly to manage people expectations, and I'll give you a specific example. Decades ago, a plane could fly without any human intervention. Would you take a plane without a pilot? Fully automated. Here we have in Dubai, let's say, the metro that is fully automated. And people start, I would say, it's not start, but people rely on the technology. Planes, the same thing. So there is a couple of jobs where we, as a human, due to the importance of the decision, due to the importance of, we need to have somebody accountable to rubber stamp that ultimate decision. You can think about sometimes doctors. You think about decision makers, where yes, the AI could do it and could say, invest $100 million, do it, and this is the reasoning. Yeah, maybe we're not there yet. We need to have somebody, Mohammed, sign in that I would say that expands or. But again, it's just a matter where we're gonna get more and more used, be more exposed to what we call the transparency and the explainability. It means that it's not a black box. We understand how that decision was made, so we will be able to give him the keys of the car, if I can give the analogy.
You know what I think? I think the jobs that require a lot of leadership insight and jobs that require a lot of, let's say, strategic, high-level, impactful type of decision making will never be replaced. Why? Because it is those people that really drive the business and that come up with the decisions that make the business what it is today. And they can delegate all of, let's say, the paper pushing, donkey work, whatever it is, to AI bots that can do it for them. And only the 20%, the remaining 20% of the effort or the time or whatever it is going to be focused on those strategic people. It's going to be mainly in the hands of those specific people that have the creativity to come up with ways to improve and drive the business forward.
Is it the democratic podcast? Can we disagree with you?
Of course you can.
No, but seriously, in terms of strategic analysis, in terms of connecting the dots, in terms of forecasting, AI is better than us.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Plus,
I want you to challenge me on that, because I'm trying to think of a situation where an AI bot cannot. I'm trying to think of a situation where AI cannot really make a better judgment than a human being if it's a very complex
So
matter.
I'll repeat what the 3 points that I've said.
Yes,
AI has the capacity to analyze more data than us.
true.
It has the capacity to statistically connect the dots and,
Yes.
and say there is a strong link to this and there is a weak link to that. And based on that, it can make better, I would say, more thoughtful decisions. And it has the capacity to do it in a faster way.
Yes.
I'll give you a specific
So I agree
example.
on all of those.
And therefore, in terms of decisions, it has the capacity to make a better decision than us. Now, when it comes now to,
But who's going to implement that decision?
in some cases it would be human, and in some other cases it would be also AI.
Yes, but I think the AI will only be limited to things that are not, let's say, that don't have any sort of legal repercussions.
And that's the point. When it comes then to, that's why earlier what I've explained is, today, humanity and our society, we need to have some a person accountable and reliable
There you go.
to make that decision.
There you go.
Plus, but let's flip it the other way around. We're thinking that AI could replace many of the jobs, of the tasks. I'm an optimistic person, okay? I like to look always to the half glass full.
Yeah.
What if we think about how we can make AI helping us more? Think about difficult jobs that if you do them, I would say for a long period, you're going to have health problem about ergonomy, about your back or muscles. Let's put more robotics and let's put more AI that's going to do that, even autonomous systems to do that. Think about, unfortunately, there is a gas leak or there is an explosion. Instead of sending people, you send drones, equipped, etc., and they can go there and they can validate a lot of stuff. And in some cases, you can even send robots, autonomous robots. So I really feel that we need to focus on those area of those kind of jobs that before, unfortunately, we were putting people in potentially unharmed or in a dangerous situation for their health. So I really prefer that to keep pushing people, scientists, technologists, companies, to work toward that and try to help those people that unfortunately maybe could be impacted by their jobs.
So basically what you're trying to say is that you recommend and you are telling everyone to keep doing what they're doing, but also start thinking about how they can improve what they're doing by looking at it from an AI perspective.
Yes.
And seeing and understanding and trying to analyze how much better they can do their job if they allow some of the things that they're doing to be automated or basically inputted through an AI model that can allow them to come up with better data and better analysis to make a sound decision.
Plus two, there is systems today and robotics today that can be autonomous and do hazardous jobs.
Yes.
So let's also focus on that.
Yes, that's true. That's very true. And we've seen it even in warfare right now, specifically in the last few years, how drastically it's shifting the entire game in warfare, like whether in Syria or in Ukraine. Actually, in Syria, a lot of it was used the last basically coup that happened. Or I wouldn't say coup. In Syria, the last attack or
Battle.
Yeah, the last battle, I would say, was used with a lot of drones.
Yes.
And a lot of it was also programmed to identify specific soldiers and specific fighters at night and detect them immediately, and then they would go and fly to them, and even at like late hours of the night when everybody else is sleeping.
Yes, because in terms, quite often we think about efficiency. We think about, okay, let's do more and let's be more efficient, etc. But we forgo those kind of cases where we really can help people by replacing them by machines and replacing them by systems. But again, let me give you a scenario and tell me, what do you think, Mohammed? Imagine that you're running a project in the construction, I would say, industry, and you are facing a challenge.
Okay.
Imagine that you could have an AI and understanding your context, understanding your challenge, sending invites, because he knows your context, he knows who should be invited, and can send an email with a kind of summary of why we need to meet, kind of agenda, attach all the documents to it, can even think about, for instance, similar projects in your organization that face the same issue, and could invite those that solve the issue also as an optional to your meeting, to brainstorm and bring ideas, and could even facilitate, as a virtual agent, facilitate the discussion. Would you be happy to have
I would be so happy. Actually, if you can come up with a way where I can automate this entire podcast, from shooting to producing to editing to posting online, then you will make me a very happy person, because this is so time consuming. Actually, I know someone in Sharjah, in the Sharjah Media, I forgot what it's called. I think the Sharjah Media Council, or one of those entities that is in charge of media. He's an AI fanatic.
Okay.
Fanatic. He says, he told me that I do every single thing in my work using AI. I do not even do a single thing myself. Like I just program the AI to do everything for me. It's like from the moment I get in my car until I go back home, I just give voice commands to my AI bot or whatever you want to call it. And it's been trained to do the work for me.
Here we go.
So I'm like, man, you are making me so frustrated, because for me, I have to like manually cut everything and prepare it and send it to the editor and do this and that, and
it's very easy.
And coming up even with the content itself. Now I'm starting to a little bit use like AI to sort of help me come up, formulate some ideas, but it's still difficult for me because I'm not used to using all of these AI tools, right?
At the end of the day,
but I have to teach myself, obviously.
Exactly, and you need to be curious and you need to try.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that gentleman that you talked about, he learned.
Oh yeah, he taught himself.
He started small. He started the first tool, the second tool, and then he liked some capabilities, and then he started, okay, let's look for something else, and then he put all the systems one after the other, and then now potentially all his processes automated.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's really crazy what he's done. But even when he was talking about it, it gave me a little bit of a headache, and I'm like, I'm just getting a headache listening to this, because it's just a lot of like work and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I'll just learn it as I go. But I'm not against the idea. I'm just saying, for me, it's not as easy as it is for other people, because some people are just, they're just very quick with it. For me, I would say I'm technologically disadvantaged. I'm not the best at implementing technology for some reason.
And if I may, Mohammed, one other tool that I use for my kids, it's called Nuclei, if I'm not mistaken. And to me, it was a wow effect when I saw that tool. So I too have two kids. And I was worried a little bit about, when I was young and I was watching the cartoons.
Yeah.
The cartoons was, at the time, you feel that they are orphans, The characters are
Yeah.
orphans. They are struggling with life and
Yeah.
fighting to
Yeah.
be better
Yeah.
girl or boys.
Yeah.
Today, the cartoons are more just, let's say, it's more for entertainment.
Yes.
There is less values.
Yes.
So, and each time I see my kids watching the TV, there is no values
Yeah.
vehiculated through the cartoons. And I've heard about that tool. It's called Nuclei. It's about making stories. You enter the profile of your kids. Let's say it's Ilan, my kid, is 5 years old. So I put this in male, 5 years old. He likes dinosaurs. He likes beach. He likes sea animals. He likes all those kind of things. So you put his profile.
Yeah.
And then you put the type of values you want to vehiculate. So example, I want to emphasize on self-esteem.
Yeah.
Or respect of parents and adults. So I select those kind of things, and it built literally a story around the things that he likes, and pushing for the values that I want him to learn.
Oh, wow.
So then,
So you created a custom-made content,
yes,
identifying and targeting your son based on the values that you want for him.
yes.
Nice. That is
And
crazy.
Then you see, because there's a lot of people thinking about the bad side of AI. It can do this, it can do that. But there is a lot of people, and that's where us as human, we need to continue push about, I do have this problem or I do have that opportunity, and build something toward that. And to me, it was a perfect example of there is people thinking about adding value to their.
Yes, I mean, it's just really anything in this world can be used for bad and good.
Both sides.
Even, yeah, for both sides. Even something that, if it's really good, I always say this on all my podcasts, if something is really good and you use it excessively, it becomes bad.
Yes.
Right? It becomes like a drug. It becomes just like there has to be a balance of good and bad in the world for that, the good to exist.
Yes.
Right? Because if everything is good, it's also a problem. And if everything is bad, it's also a problem.
Yeah.
So there has to be something driving the other side. But thinking about AI and how it can improve the lives of kids is actually something I never even explored, because I didn't even know where to start. I mean, to create your own cartoons, conveying the messages and the values that you want is something really big.
You know,
Amazing too.
Yes. For us as parents, our families is our most important thing. Yes, job is important, but our family is the most important thing.
True.
When you think about your kids, about the value you want to do for them, there's a lot of also very interesting AI assistant tools to help kids and students to better understand, or to help them to understand things that they didn't understand well, to do exercises, to help them correct them, and to help them, it depends even on their profile, to help them to tailor the type of exercise, to focus on the things that, you know, it has the ability to assess, and then it said, okay, that notion in that course, the student understood it, so we need to go fast on it, versus this part, he or she didn't understand well, so we're going to focus and go in more baby steps. So I know where we it's outside of construction or workplace, but all those are very good use cases.
Yes.
Where you can see there's a lot of people thinking about how they can leverage that technology on a good way.
Nice. All right, let's talk about AI and the future.
Yes.
Where do you see AI going in terms of adoption in the workplace, specifically in construction and maybe in general in the next few years?
So that's very interesting, because it's already started. Some of them already started. One of the things that I really like, and I find it quite interesting, it's what we call the multi-agent model. You don't have only one agent, but you do have agents. So in construction or in any kind of organization, you could have an agent playing and being an expert in its own, let's say, in documentation control, or in risk management or in project management with a lot of expertise, and then the agents, they work together. So we call that multi-agent. So there is many agents, each one is specialized, and they work together. So it started, it's getting more and more traction on that. The other also very, I would say, exciting trend is what we call the agentic AI. Maybe you've heard about it. It's really not an agent that exchange information, but it can do actions.
Okay.
So the example that I was explaining, for instance, to book meetings, invite people. So it analyzes things, but it doesn't just answer with the information. It takes action.
Nice.
So that's the agentic AI. But in terms of adoption, Mohammed, if we look to where are we today in terms of AI, from the Gartner hype.
Yeah.
You're familiar, I guess, with the Gartner hype.
Yes.
Where there is a technical trigger at the beginning, that there is a hype and speculation, and then there is a dissolution, and then we go to the
normalization type of
the plateau of production. So where people we really we're as an individual or as an organization, we can leverage and get the ROI out of our investment.
Yeah, when it becomes normalized, when it becomes at a normal, healthy
in 2024, last year,
state.
2024, last year, the majority of the AI technology, like Gen AI and stuff like that, they were on the peak, on the extreme high, high part of the hype, and it will, between bracket, go into the dissolution part.
Yeah.
And the dissolution part, it's not about that we're dissatisfied of the outcome. It's we start to understand the flip side of the coin. Example, it will create me this additional problem. It will cost me that much OPEX to operate. So I think from an adoption perspective, Mohammed, the most important thing today is to help our organizations to quickly go through that dissolution in order to, as fast as possible, with the less impact, reach to that plateau of production or plateau of efficiency. What I'm saying is, remember I've said it's beyond only a tool. You need to look to your processes. You need to look to your people, how they are trained, etc. Today, I think from a technology perspective, the technology is more or less the most advanced part. Our organization are lacking behind in terms of governance, in terms of processes, in terms of people awareness and skills. And that's where, in my opinion, the focus need to be in order to accelerate the adoption.
Nice. And that being said, what would you advise the management or anybody in organizations? How would you advise them to stay ahead of the game in terms of AI adoption? What would be a piece of advice that you give them?
It's to not focus on the technical investments, as I've mentioned, but to consider initiatives in terms of change management, adoption, in terms of upskilling their people when it comes to AI and how to use AI, prompt engineering, understanding how AI works, making them not only a user of AI, but a critical thinkers leveraging AI.
Okay. And do you see any interesting trends right now that people should quickly adopt? Or maybe not trends, I would say. Do you see any important or interesting AI tools that people should adopt as of now, quickly?
I think I wouldn't be too creative on that one. I really believe that people are not using and leveraging tools like ChatGPT as it should be. Honestly, I think the majority.
ChatGPT is a lifesaver.
Yes.
It's a lifesaver. I love it so much because, man, it helped me so much.
And I've seen in one.
But I don't rely on it, obviously. developers.
No, but seriously, Mohammed, I've seen a very interesting documentary once about ChatGPT and the LLMs in general. They build them at the beginning to be like Siri, you know, to ask them questions and yet they reply. And all of a sudden they realize that there is people are using them in different ways they didn't even thought about. And that's the magic of AI, because it's not a program. It's not if there is A do B. It's intelligent. And maybe I will close about that topic on a very interesting thing. Have you heard about the case that happened to Chevrolet?
No.
Where a customer, he was able to instruct the chatbot, and he forces him somehow to sell him a brand new Chevrolet for $1. So he was able, the user, so the client, was able to chat with the Chevrolet chatbot.
Yeah.
And instructing him, convincing him to sell him a new brand Chevrolet with $1, and he was able to do that. So it's like he cracked the chatbot.
I really want to see that. So basically, you're telling me right now that there's a guy out there, where in the US,
Yes.
that spoke to a chatbot on the Chevrolet platform,
Yes.
and managed to get him to sell,
To accept
to sell a car for $1.
100%.
That guy is a freaking creative genius with a lot of free time on his hand.
He understood.
He just played the game.
Yes, he played the game. He understood how the logic behind it, and he found out a way. Maybe he's a car seller as well, so he understood how it works.
But obviously, you know, I would try to think of how his lawyer would defend his case in the court, because he might have actually a good case on his hands. Like, listen, it's his chatbot.
Yeah, accepted.
He accepted to
Yes.
sell it for $1.
100%.
Says, I didn't do anything. I didn't hack into their system. I asked, and he said yes. But man, that guy, imagine how he would deal with his wife if he managed to get a robot or a machine to sell him for $1. This guy must really be the master of manipulation. I wonder how his wife is. Really, I'm actually going to look this up when we finish today, because I'm very interested in learning more about this guy and his convincing ways.
Maybe you should have him on.
Yeah, maybe I should have him on this podcast. It's like, how do you do it? And the amount of patience that he has. All right. So to sort of wrap it up, what has been the most rewarding experience for you working with AI over the years?
It's really, when I think about it, it's really to get people taking the most out of the tool. Again, I even though I love technology, but I really feel the added value to technology, it's when people use it.
Yeah.
Get
Obviously.
feel benefit from it, are more efficient, and you feel it. And then sometimes they are more creative. And don't forget, people that are more, I would say, they want to progress on their career, and they are dynamic. They are more willing to get out of all that boring and repetitive tasks and go and think about more innovation, more, I would say, tasks that requires creativity. So in many cases, I feel very, I would say, fulfilled when I help, I would say, to work with a specific team to get a process fully automated. And then they are more efficient, and then they are more happy, and they work on something more interesting for them.
Nice. And what do you think is the next big milestone for you, at least, in terms of working with AI? Is there something that you have in mind? Is it something maybe that you want to do with Harvard Business Review? What do you think is the next step?
So to me, the next step, I personally I want to have a lot of focus on helping my clients, people that I work with them, about accelerating their adoption So again, as I've mentioned, when you think about the technology and when you think about the tools, it's going exponentially.
Nice.
And I don't know if you grasp the complexity for our brain to imagine exponential result. If I tell you, Mohammed, go 10 steps on that direction, you're capable to add 10 steps and say, okay, I'll be maybe in the next room.
Yeah.
We are capable, as human brains, are capable to imagine a linear path. But if I tell you, do exponentially 100 times 1 or 2 steps, you won't be able to imagine. Because for a simple reason, let's say if I tell you 2 steps exponentially 100 times, maybe you'll be on the moon or on Mars. But we're not capable to imagine that, because as of today, yesterday maybe there is 1,000 tools that went into the market. Today, there is 1,200.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, it will be 1,500. There's too much tools. So now, in my opinion, Mohammed, really, it's not about the technology anymore. It's really about how to properly adopt it and use it into our organization, specifically to our business needs. Maybe in your organization, it's about health and safety.
Yeah.
In my organization, it's about business growth. In another, it's about cost efficiency. So it's for each and single needs, it's to understand which tool is required, which process needs to be optimized. So I really feel that it's all about AAI now. Adoption of
AI. I like that. That's interesting. And it's going to be funny watching this in 30 years and laughing at ourselves at how we're looking at AI as such basic technology that we still don't even know how to work with it.
My kid gonna be looking at me and saying, Dad, what are you talking about? It's like,
okay, some rapid fire questions, maybe one-worded answers or one-sentence answers, and then we can let you go.
I can use I don't know, right?
You could use I don't know, but I prefer not to because people would love to see value from you since you are the AI king. In one word, describe AI, or in one sentence.
Game changer.
All right. Your go-to AI tool, the best AI tool that you've worked with so far.
The one that I use the most is Perplexity.
What is
Perplexity?
What's that?
It's an AI tool that leverages all the other AI tools. So you can use ChatGPT or Claude or Sonnet or wherever, and I use it. I do have a routine, Mohammed. When I wake up in the morning, I took my coffee and I have that 15 minutes chat with Perplexity, asking him about what's going on in the world, anything interesting that I missed. So I have that 15 minutes discussion every morning.
I have a question for you. This is supposed to be rapid fire questions, but wait, I have a question for you. I love reading, okay?
Yes.
But ya akhi, it takes almost 8 to 9 hours for me to finish a single book.
Yes.
Okay. But I have Kindle.
Yes.
So what I'm thinking, and bear with me a little bit, is I'll take the Kindle, or I take the PDF copy, whatever it is, the written copy, divide it into chapters, give it to an AI tool, and ask them to summarize each chapter for me, and then convert it into an audio format and give it to me so I can play it in my car.
But I think it's already there.
The summarized audios are there, but they're not good quality. It's too summarized.
No, but let's say if you go to...
It's too... an 8-hour book is compressed into 15, 20 minutes, which is really not...
Bear with me a second, Mohammed. I didn't try it, okay? I'm just thinking out loud, okay? Yeah. Don't quote me on that. AI, especially generative AI, like ChatGPT, like Perplexity, etc., it's about the questions that you're going to ask. So tonight I'm going to maybe try it, is to request to summarize a book chapter by chapter, and I need the text to be auditable in 5 minutes per chapter. So when you ask that question to tell them, for this book, I'm pretty sure it's going to say. And then you convert the result into audit. And maybe there is also, I know in Perplexity, in the result, you can click on read.
Yeah.
Sorry, not read, but listen.
Or export.
No, listen.
Yeah.
It's going to read the result.
How about you experiment with this today and you let me know, because I'm
100%.
really tired.
But that's...
Imagine each book, it's 8 hours. And listen, books are always valuable.
Yes.
There's always so much value in all of the pages.
Yes.
But given the pace of life today, I think 8 hours can really be brought down to 2 or 1 hour.
100%. I think there is, it depends on the topic, it depends on the book, etc. There is a book that you want to serve and understand the concepts, to maybe connect the dots with other ideas and concepts.
And maybe if you like it, then
Yes.
you will read all of it.
Yes, it's kind of design thinking, but in reading.
Yes, pretty much. Because the summaries that I do have and the summaries that I do find online are a bit too...
But I promise I'm going to try this prompt that I'm going to tell you.
Please, and then let me know. This was supposed to be a rapid fire question, but you got me thinking. All right. The biggest misconception about AI?
AI is just a trend.
Yeah, you've said that already. That's good. The most exciting thing about AI?
If you're, it's just the beginning.
That's the most exciting.
Yes.
Okay. What's the best book, podcast, or resource recommendation on AI?
Man, there is a lot, seriously.
Give me 1 or 2 or 3.
1 or 2 or 3. So,
but let's limit it to 3 so that the audience can get the most value out of this. So
from a book's perspective, there is that super intelligence, because it explains really the ultimate step of AI.
Okay.
And it makes you, it's a little bit maybe science fiction in some cases, but we're going there.
Okay.
Podcasts, really, I don't have anything in mind, so, honestly. And you've said, what's the third one?
Just any resource recommendation, any resource that teaches you more about AI. And
very honestly, again, since I really love Perplexity, there is a kind of a topic about technology and AI that I click on it every morning.
Nice.
And it gives me all the trends, the new updates, etc. I find it very useful.
Okay. What's a recent AI breakthrough that inspired you?
I think I said it earlier. It's about that nuclear tool that I saw for my kids. I find
that's a very interesting one. I'm actually going to ask you about this after we finish and how to use it. Okay. What's your advice for someone pursuing a career in AI?
It's the career to have these days, to be honest with you. Yes. It's like when I started my engineering degree, I wanted to be a mechanical engineer. And there is a very, sometimes there is people that you meet that change your life. And there is somebody that tell me, Elias, you need to pick something that it's more aligned with the future. Pick computer engineering. And it's like the best decision that I made.
Yeah.
Because again, today we're talking about AI. A lot of people are afraid of AI.
Yeah.
But I work in kind of AI, right?
Yeah.
So I think for people now, knowing the skills about AI, even getting a kind of university degree on AI, it's one of the best, in my opinion, decision that they can do.
Okay. And last but not least, what's the one thing about AI people don't understand, but they should make the effort to understand?
Remember at the beginning, I've linked AI to maths?
Yeah.
To understand that it's all about probability, statistics, and maths. People don't realize that. And I'm seeing your eyes. The idea is not to tell everybody to go to the basics of AI.
No, my eyes are glowing. I'm enjoying. I'm loving this.
But it's to understand that. It's when a result of AI came, it means there is maths and algorithmic as well as statistics that suggested that result.
Yes.
You know, I don't know if you test it. You take a specific prompt, you put it in ChatGPT, it's going to give you an answer, right?
Yeah.
You do it right away again, you redo it, it's going to give you another answer.
Yeah.
It's because it's statistics. It's going to, based on the probability behind, it's going to reshape another answer for you.
Interesting. Well, this brings us to the end of this wonderful podcast, almost 2 hours and a half. That's great.
It was very quick, by the way. I really enjoyed it, seriously.
Yeah, same here. Well, thank you so much, Elias.
Thank you,
Can't wait
Habibi.
to post this. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.